Hello everyone, my name is Mohit Kumar from Group 317. Today my topic is about cooperative property of enzyme and myoglobin and hemoglobin. My first topic, the cooperative property of enzyme. The cooperative property of enzyme include the allosteric binding. What is allosteric binding? The binding of substrate to one site to the binding of subsequent substrate to other site. Second is cooperative binding. Binding of multiple substrate lead to a conformational change increasing the enzymic activity means there is a multiple substrate which bind to the enzyme. If the multiple substrate bind to the enzyme, the activity of enzyme will increasing. Third is about enzyme cooperative. Enzyme subunit work together. What is enzyme subunit? Enzyme subunit is like prosthetic group, cofactor. If they work together, the activity of enzyme will increasing. Fourth is feedback inhibition. If any inhibitor bind to the enzyme, then the activity of enzyme will be decreasing. If any activator bind to the enzyme, the activity of enzyme will be increasing. Fifth is allosteric activation. The binding of allosteric, suppose there is a site of an enzyme that is allosteric site in which the substrate bind to the allosteric site. If this is activator, the activity of enzyme increasing. If there is an inhibitor, then the activity of enzyme will decreasing. Six is sigmoidal kinetics. Enzyme show the sigmoidal graph in response to the substrate concentration. Next is enzyme memory. If there is a previous binding of substrate to the enzyme, then enzyme make a memory like our immune system. Our enzyme retain a memory of previous substrate binding. Next is conformational change. If multiple substrate bind to the enzyme, then there will be the conformational change occur. Ninth is subunit cooperativity. If enzyme combine with prosthetic group, combine with cofactor, then the activity of enzyme increasing, and also there is a efficacy of enzyme increase. There is a negative cooperative and one is positive cooperative. Like inhibitor bind to the enzyme, there is a negative cooperative. If activator bind to the enzyme, then there is a positive cooperative. Next is mixed cooperativity. If there is a combination of negative or positive cooperativity that leading to the enzyme mixed cooperativity. 12th is enzyme clustering. If the enzyme form a cluster, like allowing for cooperative to and increase activity, there is a formation of cluster in enzyme clustering. Next is dynamic cooperative. There is a two type of condition: static cooperativity and dynamic cooperativity. In dynamic cooperativity, the enzyme leading to increase of activation of enzyme. Molecular memory. Enzyme also can retain their memory. My second topic is about myoglobin and hemoglobin. The myoglobin and hemoglobin both are protein. They are belong to the globin family, which play very important role in oxygen transport and storage in body. Our oxygen delivery mainly occur by myoglobin and hemoglobin. Hemoglobin in the form of RBC and myoglobin in skeletal muscle. The first is about myoglobin. What is myoglobin? Myoglobin is a belong to globin family which found in our muscles. It store oxygen. It's release oxygen when needed. For example, we do very hard work in a skeletal muscle. Myoglobin are present. It has a very high affinity for oxygen. There is a two condition. Hemoglobin also bind to oxygen. Myoglobin also bind to oxygen. But the affinity of binding with oxygen, myoglobin has greater. It's also act as a oxygen reservoir. Myoglobin fascinating very important role in oxygen storage and delivery to muscles. When we need very hard work, we go to gym, we need more oxygen. Myoglobin is small, it's globular protein, its molecular weight around 17,000 dalton, and it has only single polypeptide chain, because we know myoglobin is a protein and protein are made up of amino acids and amino acids have polypeptide chain. Myoglobin also contain the heme group, which is a like prosthetic group. That heme group is responsible for the binding with oxygen. The heme group consists porphyrin ring and the iron atom. Oxygen binding of myoglobin. We study myoglobin has high affinity for oxygen. It's also stored oxygen in muscle. The what is binding of myoglobin with oxygen? It displays the amino acid that is histidine, which is basic amino acid and positively charged. So myoglobin displays the amino acid name histidine at the binding of oxygen. The function of main myoglobin is store oxygen in muscle and release oxygen to muscle fiber. Some there is a abnormality of myoglobin. If there is a deficiency of myoglobin, then the disease is called muscular dystrophy, muscle weakness, because myoglobin present in muscles. There's some cardiovascular disease like heart failure, myocardial infarction also occur, and some respiratory disease called COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. My second topic is about hemoglobin. What is hemoglobin? Hemoglobin is a vital protein in RBC that play a crucial role in oxygen transport and delivery to bloody tissue. It's also transport oxygen, it also transport CO2. The regulation of pH is also done by hemoglobin. Hemoglobin structure is tetrameric in structure. It's have four units, two alpha chain and two beta chain, and in between the chain there is a heme group iron, which is contained the porphyrin ring. What are the types of hemoglobin? There are three types of male hemoglobin: adult hemoglobin, fetal hemoglobin, and hemoglobin variant. Adult hemoglobin is denoted by HbA, fetal hemoglobin is denoted by HbF, and the hemoglobin variants like sickle cell anemia trait, the person in which the amino acids are displaced in sickle cell anemia, its variant is HbS. Some clinical significance of, if there is a deficiency of hemoglobin, then this condition is called anemia, low hemoglobin level, yeah, abnormal hemoglobin function. Some blood disorder also, sickle cell anemia, thalassemia. In sickle cell anemia, quantity affect, or in thalassemia, quality of blood affected. Some cardiovascular disease like heart attack, heart failure due to the ischemia, hypoxia. Hemoglobin is red color. The red color of blood is mainly due to the hemoglobin pigment. Hemoglobin, some interesting fact of hemoglobin is that hemoglobin bind to the carbon monoxide, and the binding with the carbon monoxide is greater as compared to the oxygen, which is hemoglobin bind to the carbon monoxide, which is very toxic. Hemoglobin level can also vary with altitude, smoking, and other factors. This is my all about the hemoglobin. Thank you very much.